Dear students, we all have studied the five kingdom classification system and we have learned that the prokaryotic forms, the simplest forms are placed in kingdom Monera, and we have studied about the kingdom Monera in our last lectures. Today we are going to start the kingdom Protista. This kingdom Protista contains all those life forms which are unicellular in nature and eukaryotic. Means the single celled organisms but having the eukaryotic cells, they are placed in kingdom Protista. This kingdom Protista is categorized in five major groups like chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds and protozoans. We will study the features of all these groups one by one briefly, but have a small view about the mode of nutrition, or you can have some idea that how they are different from each other. Like chrysophytes and dinoflagellates, they are purely autotrophic in nature. Photosynthetic organisms are placed in these two groups. Euglenoids have mixotrophic type of nutrition, means these organisms possess both this heterotrophic and autotrophic mode of nutrition, while slime molds are saprophytes. They are heterotrophs but saprotrophic in nature, and the protozoans, these are also heterotrophs but they are actually a type of predators. Okay, so let's start the features of chrysophytes first. What are the unique features of the organisms which are placed in this group of Protista? So the chrysophytes, they are commonly known as diatoms, golden brown algae or dasmids. And these organisms, they have some features which are common with that of plants. They have some plant-like features, means they can perform photosynthesis because of presence of pigments. So the type of pigments present in these chrysophytes are the chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, xanthophylls and carotenoids that give them specific golden brown color. But you should remind that chlorophyll B is absent in them. Chlorophyll B is present in plants but not in these chrysophytes. Okay, so here they are somewhat different from that of plants in, if we are comparing the type of pigment present in them, but most of the pigments resemble that of plants. They are known to be phytoplanktons. When we are talking about the phytoplanktons, then we can split this word into two parts. Phyto means plant-like and planktons means free-floating. These are the organisms, they float over the surface of water freely and they can move from one place to another place just by current of water. They passively float. They don't have any flagella or moving structures. So they can float over the surface of water. Where the water currents are making them to move away, they will move towards that side. Okay. So they are freely floating organisms. Why they are plant-like organisms? Because they can perform photosynthesis because of presence of these pigments. Okay. And they are known as the major producers. Producer word is used for those organisms which are autotrophs, means which can synthesize their own food. So because they can perform photosynthesis due to presence of these specific pigments, that's why they are the producers in aquatic world, means the freshwater form or marine water forms. These chrysophytes, they act as a source of food. They are going to produce a biomass for the heterotrophic organisms present in the water. Okay. And if we are going to talk about where you will locate them, so they are found both in fresh water and marine water. Both the type of life forms are present in chrysophytes. Then come to the cell wall. Their cell wall is cellulosic in nature as that of plants. So they have a rigid cell wall, and as I told you that both fresh and marine forms are existing. If you see the shape of their cells, you can see that they can be elongated and have bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means if the organism can be cut into two halves, equal to halves, by passing through a single plane only. And they can be radial symmetrical also. You can see the round shape of their cell. They are radially symmetrical means they can be cut into two equal halves by passing through any, by cutting them through any plane, but the plane should pass through the center of the cell. Okay, so this is a round cell, this is elongated cell. It is having the bilateral symmetry, and this bilateral symmetry, because of this, they are known as pennate diatoms. If they are possessing the bilateral symmetry, they are known as the pennate diatoms. And if they are having this radial symmetry, then they are known as centric diatoms. This is centric diatom, this is the pennate diatom. Okay, and the cell is known as frustule. The cell is known as frustule. Now, a very unique feature of this chrysophyte is that because they are having the cell wall made up of cellulose, but this cell wall exists in two halves. You can see that there are two halves of this cell placed over each other. Means one is like this and other half is like this. They are placed over, the flaps of the cell wall is placed over each other like a soap box. Like soap box has a cover over it, like this. This is the lower cell wall and this is the upper cell wall. Upper cell wall is known as epitheca and the lower cell wall is known as hypotheca. Another unique feature about their cell wall is that obviously it is cellulosic in nature, but it is deposited externally with the glass-like silica material. Glass-like silica. And this silica deposition make it somewhat rough in nature, abrasive in nature. Okay, because they are freely floating organisms, but when the death of these organisms will take place, their inner content of the cell will decompose, but this cell wall having this deposition of silica will get deposited on the surface or the bottom of the aquatic body. Means if they are present in pond or in sea, at the bottom the walls of these diatoms get deposited, and millions of years when passed, then the deposited cell wall of these diatoms form a rough surface on the bottom, which is known as diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth. This is a very important term related to their cell wall, diatomaceous earth. So this is actually the bottom covered by the cell wall deposition of these diatoms. These diatoms or desmids, they don't have any flagellated forms in their life cycle except in their reproductive phase, means they are not having flagella in their vegetative stage. They can reproduce both sexually and asexually. In asexual reproduction, they mostly reproduce by the process of binary fission. Now come to the economic importance of these diatoms. Because I have told you about this diatomaceous earth, it is extracted from the bottom of the aquatic body and can be used for, because the material is somewhat soft, chemically inert and fireproof. So it is used in, it can be utilized for abrasive surfaces like it is used in toothpastes, or it can be used as filtration material for oils or antibiotics or some chemicals, alcohol like chemicals. So it can be used as a filtration material. It is also used in making the walls soundproof. Okay, so these are some of the features, unique features which are unique to the cryophytes. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you.